TaylorMade has just dropped the P7 CB, so it's no longer a prototype. The P7 CB is definitely a golf club that is made for more accomplished golfers, players who have certainly a single-digit handicap and probably a low single-digit handicap at that. Starting a couple of years ago, TaylorMade began hearing rumblings from its staff players that they wanted a club that was going to fit somewhere in between the P7 MC, its muscle cavity iron, and the P770, which is a hollow body, foam-filled, better player distance iron. And so they went to work, and this is the result of that. A classic, compact blade length, better players cavity back iron. To me, the P7CB from a design standpoint, from just an aesthetic standpoint, harkens back to some of the rack irons that TaylorMade used to put out. This little extra muscle that's been put into the center, the hollowed out sections over here, visually reminds me a lot of the rack stuff, the old 540 stuff. It is very, very clean in the address position. When you put this golf club down and you set it behind a golf ball, you see a classic better players club. And obviously you can see that there is a little bit of perimeter weighting that has been positioned here, so there will be a touch of forgiveness, but not a lot. If you were looking for a very forgiving iron in the TaylorMade stable, you would certainly start with the QI irons and then work your way down towards P790, P770. By the time you get to the P7CB, is there a little bit of forgiveness that's baked into here? Yes, but not all that much. This is clearly an iron that is designed for more accomplished golfers who like to work the ball around the golf course. But that's not to say that TaylorMade didn't put some technologies into the new P7CBs, and you can see them right there. See? It's right there. TaylorMade forges each one of the P7CBs using 1025 carbon steel, which is a very soft material. However, after the initial forging, a long rectangular piece is going to be milled out in through here, and another smaller square-shaped piece is milled out in the sole, out a little bit more towards the toe. In the larger of the two areas that's been milled out, a metal matrix composite material has been added, and then in the smaller section that's been milled, a tungsten weight has been positioned. The metal matrix composite material weighs only 1/7 of the 1025 carbon steel that it replaces. So a couple different things are dynamically going to be happening. Number one, the center of gravity is going to be shifted because more of the overall mass of the club has been shifted out towards the toe. It's counteracting the weight of the hosel. So the ideal hitting area has been positioned more into the center of the face than being just a little bit towards the heel. The other thing that happens when you put a little bit of tungsten out here into the toe area is that it is also going to help to lower the center of gravity, especially in the longer irons. The specific amount of tungsten varies by club. So in the long iron, TaylorMade is able to drop the center of gravity position to encourage a little bit higher ball flight, which just about everybody would want out of their 3, 4, and 5 iron. Now, you can't see into those technologies because after the metal matrix composite material and the tungsten have been added, a steel sole plate has been applied over the top. And then once again, the whole thing goes into the forging and is forged all together to create one piece. Now, the great thing about these performance enhancing technologies is that they do their job without actually making the P7CB any larger. It's a really important thing for better player irons that companies that try and make them appealing to really good players, to people who are going to be consistently contending for club championships, who are going to be shooting, in the mid to lower 70s on a regular basis, they don't want to see a very long blade length. They don't want to see a thick top line. They want something that is going to be old school, that is going to be compact, classic in looks. You can give them technologies, but they don't want to see it. They have a very set idea about what a better player golf club is going to look like, or what it should look like, and the P7CB is going to tick those boxes. Now, as you might suspect, the lofts on the P7CBs are going to be very traditional. You've got a 3-iron at about 20 degrees of loft. This 6-iron has 29 degrees of loft, and there is an included pitching wedge in the set, and that has 46 degrees of loft. The really nice thing about that is that with those types of loft, more accomplished players may not have to get a new gap wedge or tinker around with their wedge setup if they want to go with the P7 pitching wedge. 46 degrees means you can keep your 50 degree or maybe even your 52 degree gap wedge in play without worrying about gapping and creating problems with your approach shots and your short iron shots. The P7CBs are going to cost for a 7-club set about $1,400. However, you will be able to buy them individually, and working with a good custom fitter, mix and match these clubs into a set to create a blended set. For example, if you want to try out and go with long irons in the new P770s and then go with, say, 8, 9 and pitching wedge in the P7CB, working with a custom fitter, you should be able to do that relatively easily. So if you're a more accomplished golfer and you're in the market for a new control-oriented set of irons, you might want to talk to a good custom fitter about the TaylorMade P7 CB irons.